It's over for this devil woman. The prince just breaks silence, and what he reveals exposes the terrifying truth behind her rage and relentless obsession.
Family comes first, always. On the Los Angeles red carpet, Meghan says that line with glossy eyes. The whole room claps, thinking they're looking at a heartbroken daughter-in-law, worried sick about a dying father-in-law. But just a few days earlier, when the doctor texted, "His Majesty's condition is worsened, we're not sure he'll make it through the winter." What did she do? She didn't book a ticket to the UK. She booked a beach trip for herself and the two kids. She went shopping. She went to events. She told the children, "The beach is better than the hospital. You don't need to see Grandpa." On one side, you have Harry, the son, sitting there with shaking hands, terrified he won't get to see his father's face one last time. On the other side, you have Meghan, the woman using that pain as material so she can stand on stage and perform, "We care deeply about his health." So tell me, is that compassion? Or is that one of the fakest performances you've ever seen? That night, in the Montecito mansion, a man is sitting frozen in front of his phone screen. The message comes in at 11 p.m. from the royal doctor. Short, polished, every word carefully chosen, pure palace style. His Majesty's condition has become more concerning. We cannot say what will happen in the coming months. Nobody uses the words "about to die." They don't have to. Grown-ups don't need to hear the word death to understand someone is walking very close to it. Harry finishes reading, and his hand shakes the way it did when he stood before his mother's coffin back in 1997. The royal blood in him feels like it's boiling, reminding him there is still a bond, whether he likes it or not. He opens his photo album. His whole childhood is wrapped up in a few swipes. Charles walked him and William to school. Charles forced a smile at his graduation. Charles on the Buckingham balcony, waving to the crowd. And then the most recent picture, Charles wearing the crown. Harry standing a step back, no longer in the main line, but still the sun. At that exact moment, in the room next door, someone is laughing loudly, happily picking dresses for events. Meghan stands in front of the mirror in a tight-fitting gown. The stylist has laid out outfits for the whole coming week. A charity gala, a talk show, a brand launch. The schedule is packed. Warm light shines on her glowing skin. She turns a little, tilts her head. "Does this one make me look too old?" The stylist jumps in. "No, it's very classy, very timeless." Timeless? Meanwhile, on the other side of the house, a man is reading a message that basically says his father is running out of time. Harry walks into the living room. The light hits his tired, washed-out face. He stands there for a few seconds, waiting for his wife to look up. She does look up, but not into his eyes. Meghan glances at her phone instead, checking tomorrow's schedule. "What do you think? Does this dress look good on me?" she asks, excited. The doctor says, "My father's worse." Harry manages, throat tight. They're not sure he'll live through many more winters. Silence, very short. Nowhere near long enough for anyone to digest the phrase, "not many more winters." Meghan answers. "Do you think I should wear my hair up or down?" She grabs her hair and lifts it up for Harry to see. Not one, "Are you okay?" Not one, "How is he now?" Not even a hand on his shoulder. She turns right back to her outfits. "I'm thinking of changing my concept next week. Too many brands are reaching out. I need to filter them." On one side, you have a son trying to swallow the words, "not many more winters." On the other side, you have a wife still talking about her outfit concept. The next evening, Meghan shows up glowing at a charity event in Los Angeles. She donates some very expensive items. The whole room applauds like crazy. Perfect dress, elegant makeup, bright smile. Meanwhile, Harry sits in the kitchen with a cup of tea gone cold in front of him. His phone buzzes again. Another update. More phrases that never say it straight. More tired. Slower response. Needs closer monitoring. Do you see it? Two completely different worlds. Under the same roof. Separated by just a few walls. One man stays up all night, tormented by the possibility that this might be the last time. One woman walks from event to event, carrying a perfectly trained media smile that doesn't crack. And here's the question. Very simple, very blunt. When your father-in-law is getting closer and closer to the end, does a daughter-in-law have the right to keep living like nothing is happening? Yes, that's her personal freedom. But don't call it anything else. Call it what it is. I do not care. Back then, Harry didn't dare put a name on what he was feeling. He just knew one thing. He was alone. A very special kind of loneliness. Living in the same house, sleeping in the same bed, but your biggest pain has no one sharing it with you. And in that loneliness, a thought begins to form. Thin at first, but getting clearer. If my dad is about to die and my wife is this calm, when it's my turn someday, will she be any different? That's when Harry decides. He can't just sit there. If he has to go back, he will find a way. Even if at home there is someone who doesn't want to hear the word return at all. Here's a bitter irony for you. The same man who once went on global television saying, "I don't feel safe bringing my wife and children to the UK," is now digging through every possible option to get back there, not for himself, for an old man lying in a palace halfway around the world. He types an email to his lawyer. "I need to go back to the UK, quiet, no public event, just a family visit. What options do we have to make it safe for me and maybe for the kids?" Very clear. For me and maybe for the kids. What does that mean? It means that even with all the tension, he's still trying to find a way for the whole family to go back together. Nobody wants "Grandpa died and the grandkids never even met him" written into the family story. Ordinary people don't. Princes don't either. He's scrolling through old emails when Meghan walks in, iPad in hand, full makeup on even though it's only 9 a.m. "What are you doing?" she asks, standing behind him, eyes darting to the screen. Harry tilts the laptop a bit. He doesn't hide it. "I'm asking about security options. If I take the kids to London for a visit." The air gets heavy. On his side anyway. On hers? Not so much. "So, in the end, you're really going back there," Meghan says slowly. "You don't have to be Harry to hear what that really means. We can all hear it. That's not the voice of someone worried a father-in-law is dying. That's the voice of someone worried about the story they've been selling to the world. You're breaking our narrative." "It's not going back," Harry protests, though he knows it's useless. "It's going to visit. My dad, you know this." "Oh, I know," Meghan answers, voice flat. "I also know exactly what those people over there did to me." If she stopped there, if she added just one more sentence like, "I'm not ready, but I understand your pain," this would be a different story. But no, the version of Meghan in this story chooses a different track. She puts the iPad down on the table and opens a travel booking tab. Her face stays calm. "If you need to go there, go," she says. "I will do what's best for the kids." Harry blinks. What does that mean? It means while you go back to that place you call toxic, I'll take the kids somewhere not toxic. Sun, beach, fun, no paparazzi, no royal drama. She sounds like she's pitching a luxury retreat package. Harry looks down at the iPad. On the screen, it's all there. The name of a luxury beach resort. The guest box already filled in. 1 adult, 2 children. "You're joking," Harry says, his voice dropping. Meghan raises an eyebrow. "You want to step back into that crazy cycle? That's your choice. I'm not dragging the kids into it. This is no longer 'I'm scared of the media' or 'I'm worried about safety.' This is a straightforward, you go your way, I go mine, and I'll take the children with me. We're not here to argue philosophy or who's technically right. We're just going to point at one very clear fact. His father is dying. He's trying to find a way for his children to see their grandfather. She is booking the beach." Harry lets out a small, bitter laugh. That's not a happy laugh. That's the laugh of someone who has just understood something they really didn't want to understand. "What are you going to tell them?" he asks, "when they're older and they find out their grandpa died. And that Christmas they were on a beach?" "I'll tell them the truth," Meghan shrugs. "That I protected them from an unsafe environment. That while the adults were fighting, they still got to be kids." Sounds noble, doesn't it? Slap the word protect on anything, and it suddenly sounds very moral. The problem is, this is not adults fighting. This is an old man getting ready to die. Harry says it plainly. "What environment are you talking about? That's our father. That's their grandfather." Meghan is quiet for a few seconds. Then she drops the line. "To me, he's just part of that environment." And that's Meghan's line in the sand. You have every right not to like your father-in-law. You have every right to hate the whole system around him. But when a man is at the end of his life and your husband is shaking because he's afraid he won't make it in time to say goodbye, and you say, To me, he's just part of that environment. I'm sorry. That's not boundaries. That's cold. Harry isn't stupid. He hears every word. He's also no longer the boy who had to stay silent in front of the firm. He puts his hand on the table and speaks slowly. You don't have to like him. I'm not asking you to love him. But I think you could at least respect my pain. Meghan curls her lip. I am respecting it. I'm not stopping you from going. Sure, respect, Meghan style. You can do what you want. I'll go have fun with the kids. Respect, as in, I give you permission to hurt alone. That night, while Harry keeps emailing back and forth with his lawyer, asking about private jets and security at Heathrow, Meghan sits across from him, iPad glowing. She picks dates. She picks the room. She picks the view of the ocean. 2 flights, 2 directions, 1 plane going toward a hospital bed, 1 heading toward a blue beach. See the pattern? People love to say, family means going through hard times together. Here, when the hard time arrives, the choice is split. He goes with the grief, she goes with the sunshine. And the kids? They get pulled toward the fun side. And we still haven't reached Christmas. We're only at the booking stage, and you can already see where the marriage is cracking. But the story doesn't stop at plane tickets. The worst part hasn't hit yet. The explosion is coming, right after this, when Harry can't take it anymore, and finally says out loud the one question anyone with a beating heart would ask. My father is dying, and you still want to go out, go shopping, go to events like nothing is happening? The big fight doesn't show up in some dramatic midnight scene. It arrives in the middle of a very ordinary afternoon. That's how real cracks work. A tabloid runs fresh photos, Meghan laughing as she walks out of a high-end boutique in Beverly Hills. The headline, Meghan glows amid concerns over King's health. And to be fair, yes, she does glow. The camera doesn't lie. White dress, black sunglasses, hair pulled back, smile turned all the way up. If you didn't read the part about concerns over the king's health, you'd think this was an old photo from happier times. Harry is at home when his phone buzzes again. Not the tabloids this time, the doctor. His Majesty is weaker today. We're considering more aggressive treatment options. More aggressive treatment. You know what that means. Things are going downhill. Harry puts the phone down and takes a deep breath. He can't stay quiet anymore. He can't keep pretending they're living in the same reality. Meghan comes home at dusk. Same dress, same sunglasses. She steps inside, takes off her glasses, the smile still stuck on her face. I met so many sweet fans today, she says, tossing her bag on the couch. Harry looks at her for a few seconds. He's weaker, Harry says finally. They're changing his treatment. They don't spell it out, but I can see where this is going. Meghan shrugs. I understand. I just don't know what you want me to do with that information. There. That's the moment the vein in your forehead starts to throb. Harry answers, struggling to keep his voice level. I don't want you to do anything. I just want you to care. A little. Care how? Meghan snaps back. You want me to cancel all my events, stop living my life, go on live stream and cry for the world because my father-in-law is sick? She says, father-in-law the way you'd say the guy next door. Harry sits up straighter. His tone is no longer flat. Meghan turns to him, eyes narrowed. I live my life. You live yours. Your father is sick. You're in pain. I'm not stopping you. But don't use his illness to control my facial expressions. A lot of people will nod along at this, saying, well, she's right. She has a life. Sounds logical, doesn't it? So let me ask you. Your husband has just been told his father may not survive. You go shopping, smile wide for the cameras, then come home and say, don't use his illness to control my face. Does that sound just independent to you? Or does that sound a little cold-blooded? Harry isn't sitting there doing moral math like we are. He just feels like he's been slapped. The room goes silent. The question hangs in the air, heavy as a brick. Meghan doesn't dodge. She goes harder. I will keep going out. I will keep working, keep doing events, she says. Life doesn't stop every time somebody gets sick. I learned that the hard way with my own father. I'm not going back to being the daughter who begs for her dad's love. And I won't play the part of a broken-hearted daughter-in-law either. Here, she mixes 2 things into one. Her past with her father and the present with her father-in-law. A lot of people do that. They use old wounds to justify new numbness. Nobody forces you to cry. Nobody forces you to go dark and hide away. But at the very least, when your husband is falling apart because he's scared of losing his father, you could maybe not be grinning on every front page, and not be booking a vacation like it's Black Friday. Harry looks straight at Meghan. For the first time in this marriage, he says the thing he's been swallowing. You know, he says, every time I see a photo of you laughing in the press right after a doctor's message, I feel like we're not living in the same world. In my world, my dad is counting his breaths. In your world, he's just some old man you don't owe a single tear. Meghan doesn't deny it. She even nods. That's right, she says. I'm not shedding tears for someone who never saw me as family. At this point, it's so clear there's nothing left to interpret. Harry is quiet for a few seconds. Then he speaks again, slow and sharp, hammering each word. You scare me, he says, because one day the person in that hospital bed will be me, and I can hear you already. I don't owe you any tears either. Feel that chill? That's not the air conditioning. That's a man finally speaking his deepest fear out loud. The father is the present. He is the future. The way she treats his father now is the trailer for how she might treat him later. Meghan laughs, not the happy kind, the irritated kind. If that day comes and you've hurt me the way they did, she says, don't expect sympathy from me. And that's where we are. No more pretending, no more, maybe she didn't mean it that way. She meant it exactly that way. Sunday morning. The kitchen smells like pancakes. Harry is trying to act normal. He stands at the stove flipping pancakes, pouring syrup. Archie climbs onto a chair. Lilibet holds a stuffed animal, still half asleep. Meghan walks in last, hair tied back, coffee in hand. What are we doing today, Dad? Archie asks, mouth full. Simple question, but for a man whose father is running out of time, it's not simple at all. Harry takes a breath. I'm not sure yet, he says. I might need to make a few phone calls to the UK. Archie's eyes light up. Call Grandpa, Dad? One innocent question, one word. Grandpa. Makes Harry's heart squeeze a little tighter. He nods. Yeah, Grandpa. Meghan shoots a quick look. She doesn't say anything. But you know that kind of look. Here we go again. Archie shovels in another bite, then blurts out. Why don't we just go see Grandpa, Dad? You said he lives in a big house, right? The kitchen goes quiet. This is the moment everything could have gone a different way. If Meghan had stayed silent, if she had let Harry answer, if she had just not jumped in. But no, she decides this is the perfect time for a teachable moment. Archie, she says first. Remember, you don't have to visit every place that calls itself family, okay? The little boy turns to her, confused. Why, Mom? Meghan puts down her coffee, laces her fingers together, voice soft but firm. Because not every place is good for you. In some places, grown-ups fight. They hurt each other. They say ugly things. I don't want you in the middle of that. On its own, this sounds like it came out of a modern parenting book. Protect your kids from toxic environments. If you cut this sentence out and paste it on Instagram, people would like and share it all day. The problem is the context. Here, that environment is a sick grandfather, the country their father grew up in, the house their father once called home. Harry's hand grips the glass so hard his knuckles go white. He doesn't interrupt. He wants to see just how far she's going to go. Archie still doesn't get it. But Grandpa didn't make us sad, Mom, he says. We've never even met him. Exactly. That's why Harry wants to take them, because they haven't met him yet. Meghan smiles that kids don't understand smile. Exactly. You haven't met him and you're happy, aren't you? She says. I want you to remember fun places, the beach, the mountains, Disneyland, not places full of stress. Do you understand? You're happy because you haven't met Grandpa. If you were the grandfather and you heard that, you'd probably choke on your food. Harry slams the spatula down on the counter. The clack makes the kids jump. That's enough, Meghan, he says, voice low. She turns, still calm on the surface. I'm just explaining it to them the way I think is right. Right? Harry repeats. You just told them they're happy because they haven't met their grandfather. Do you see it? Protecting the children can turn into a double-edged knife. One side really is protection. The other side quietly erases a grandfather from their map of the world. Breakfast ends with a thick tension hanging in the air. The kids feel it, even if they don't understand. All they know is that today Mom and Dad are strange and angry. The pancakes don't taste so good anymore. That afternoon, Meghan sits with the kids on the sofa, iPad in hand. On the screen, it's not an email from the royal doctor. It's a resort brochure, white sand lounge chairs, blue water. She shows the kids the beach she plans to take them to. Bright blue sea, a private pool, a kids club, and soft ice cream. Everything children love. What about Grandpa? Archie asks again. That question seems to be haunting him these days. Meghan smiles gently, voice full of patient explanation. At the beach, you get to be kids, she tells them. You just play. You don't have to worry about anyone being sick or people fighting. For a child, it's simple. Beach versus hospital. Of course, they'll choose the beach. And just like that, with a few light sentences, Meghan nudges their moral compass a little further. Going on vacation is better than visiting someone who's sick. Feeling happy is more important than sharing someone's pain. You can say I'm being harsh, but if we're honest, that's exactly the message being sent. Harry stands in the hallway watching. He hears every word. He doesn't step in. He doesn't have the strength to argue in front of the kids. He just turns away and walks back to his office, closing the door behind him. The charity gala is in Los Angeles. Guest list, A-list only, live streamed, long red carpet, flashes going off every second. You know the type of event. Every smile has been rehearsed in the mirror. Every answer has been polished by PR. That day, Meghan prepared more carefully than she did for her own wedding. The stylist arrives at 8 a.m. Makeup, hair, dress fitting. The color is chosen, something dark, navy or black, elegant. Respectful. Perfect for the narrative. Our family is going through a difficult time. Harry looks at the dress and says nothing. He knows exactly what it's for. Every detail on her body tonight, the dress, the hair, the eyeliner, serves one goal: the image she will project when she talks about the king's health. On the way to the event, the car smells like leather and expensive perfume. There's no normal husband and wife chat, just PR talk. One woman from the team turns around from the front seat, phone in hand, reading off notes. If they ask about His Majesty, you use these key words: difficult time, family and privacy, love and care. No medical details. Nothing that contradicts the palace. Stress unity. Meghan nods. Got it. The PR woman continues. If they ask, are you going back to the UK? You can say, we're considering what's best for everyone, especially the children. Or, we're keeping this a private family matter. Don't say yes. Don't say no. In other words, keep the door open. Let the public guess. Keep the press busy. Harry sits next to Meghan, looking out the window. He hears every word, but doesn't contribute. This is not his narrative. Not tonight. He's just the one carrying the real pain that will be used as a prop. The car stops, the door opens, the red carpet glows. They step out hand in hand, textbook perfect. The flashes go crazy. Voices shout, Harry, Meghan, this way, please. Meghan switches modes instantly. You can see it. Her shoulders straighten, her chin lifts to just the right angle. Her smile is warm but not too bright. Remember, difficult time. Not a comedy premiere. She squeezes Harry's hand just a bit tighter so the cameras can capture the image of united couple. We, the viewers, know that the same hand was pointed in his face last night saying, I don't owe your father a single tear. The cameras don't know that. They only get a polished 0.5-second moment. They stop at the press line. Microphones push forward. The first questions are softballs. How do you feel being here? Why is this cause important to you? Smooth, generic answers. No problem. Then the unavoidable comes. A reporter, not the gentle type, holds up a mic and asks clearly, making sure every word gets recorded. Prince Harry, how is King Charles doing? There have been concerns about his health. Are you planning to go back to the UK for Christmas to see him? No sugarcoating. How is King Charles? Are you going back? Both questions hit him right where it hurts, and right at the heart of tonight's script. Harry breathes in, about to answer. He's ready to say something that's honest but still private. He never gets the chance. Meghan cuts in, quick and clean, exactly as rehearsed. This is a very difficult time for our family. She begins, soft voice, eyes glistening. We love him, we care deeply about his health, and we're keeping all of this very private and close to our hearts. You hear that? We love him. We care deeply about his health. At home, the line was, to me, he's just part of that environment. She keeps going, not stumbling over a single word. Family comes first, always. We're supporting each other the best way we can, and we truly appreciate the kindness and prayers people have been sending. Family comes first, always. This time, when Harry hears it, he almost wants to laugh. At home, family comes first. Meant, I'm taking the kids to the beach. You want to see your dad? Figure it out yourself. Behind the press barrier, some people murmur, "Aw," some nod approvingly. It's a beautiful image. A daughter-in-law who once clashed with the royal family, now speaking gently about family first while the king is ill. Clips like this hit TikTok and rack up millions of views. Another reporter jumps in. Will you be there for him? Will you go back? Meghan tilts her head, eyes full of pain but strength. We're always there for family. She pauses for effect, lets the words sink in the ways that are healthiest for everyone involved. You hear the word game? In the ways that are healthiest for everyone involved. Sounds like something from a self-help book, translated into plain English. If I don't think showing up is healthy for me or for my narrative, I won't go. But saying it this way makes it sound spiritual. Harry stands beside her, a faint smile on his face. His facial muscles are used to staying presentable under pressure. But in his head, other images are playing on repeat. Meghan filling in 1 adult, 2 children on the resort booking. Her line to the kids, "You deserve to have fun, not go to sad places like that." Breakfast with pancakes and, "You're happy because you haven't met Grandpa." Now she stands here saying, "We're always there for family." He can't help wondering, so what exactly are those plane tickets? Another version of being there? The mic moves to Harry. And you, Harry? Anything you want to say about your father? This should have been his moment. A son speaking about his dad. But after Meghan's performance, anything he says will live inside the frame she just painted. Family, love, privacy. He chooses very few words. I love my father, he says, plain and direct. I'm in touch with him. That's all I want to say publicly. And that is the only truly honest line in the entire scene. No, we care deeply. No family comes first. Just, I love my father. I'm in contact with him. And I don't want to say more on this stage. But you know what? That's not the part that gets shared. The clip that gets cut and reposted with dramatic captions is Meghan's. This is a very difficult time for our family. Family comes first, always. Timelines fill up. Meghan speaks out about King Charles's health. So much grace and empathy. She's grown so much, you can tell she truly cares. You sit in front of your screen wanting to throw your phone across the room, because you know that truly cares is the product of 30 minutes of briefing in the car, plus 10 years of using the right keywords in public. Harry sits inside the venue. He listens to the host. He hears people praise Meghan. He watches her answer a few more deep questions about healing and breaking cycles. To the audience, she's the symbol of a woman who left a toxic environment, but still has compassion for her husband's family. To Harry, she's the same woman who told the kids that morning, the beach is better than the hospital. And who is now telling the world, family comes first, always. On the drive home, the car rolls smoothly down the highway. Streetlights slide past the windows like blurred lines. No PR team now, no cameras, just 2 people and a thick, suffocating silence. Meghan scrolls through her phone, checking early articles. She smiles. The response is good, she says. They're saying I sounded mature, very respectful. One piece even said I was so composed. Harry doesn't answer. He stares straight ahead. What's wrong with you? Meghan asks, as if she really doesn't know. The event went great. You got to say your line too. He turns his head. The anger is no longer explosive. It's the cold kind. You're okay standing there saying we care deeply about his health? He asks. Meghan shrugs. We do care. You care, right? I care about you. I care about the kids. I use we in a broad sense. Don't overanalyze every word. The car fills with ice. Meghan blinks faster, then asks, Are you accusing me of being fake? I'm just telling the truth, Harry replies. You don't go to the hospital. You don't want to go to the UK. You're booking a beach trip with the kids. That's your choice. I'm not stopping you. But at least don't get on stage and sell an image of we're going through a very difficult time and we're all standing by each other. You're not standing by. You're stepping away. Meghan squeezes her phone. You know this better than anyone, she shoots back. You grew up in a family where everybody smiled on the balcony and cried in the hallways. They left the royal family with a promise. We're going to live honestly, no more masks. Tonight, Harry realizes something. The location changed. The slogan changed. The mask? Still there. Only now, it belongs to the brand Meghan. The car stays quiet. Turn signals blink. The tires hum against the road. Finally, Meghan speaks again. Voice cold. If you want a woman who will cry, cancel events, stay home, and hold you because your dad is sick, you picked the wrong person. I'm not that type. Yeah, I told you from the beginning. I protect myself first. I protect my kids first. If she had said that on day one, before the kids, before any family first speech, maybe we could frame it as brutal honesty. But saying it after you just stood on stage declaring, family comes first, always. That's not honesty. That's a confession. Harry leans his head back, eyes closed. He doesn't argue anymore. They've reached the point where words can't fix anything. In his mind, only a few images remain. An old man on the other side of the ocean, struggling to breathe, maybe not making it through the winter. Two kids here, about to be taken to a sunny beach, knowing nothing except that the beach is more fun than the hospital. A woman who can show zero emotion about life and death at home, then play the sad daughter-in-law for the cameras a few hours later. So, let me ask you, would you bet the last years of your life on a heart like that? This is no longer about liking or disliking a celebrity. This is a question about the limits of human coldness. The story isn't over. Christmas hasn't come yet. The plane tickets are still there. The king hasn't taken his last breath. A lot can still happen. But for Harry, tonight is a turning point. The night he sees clearer than ever the distance between. The wife standing next to him in front of the cameras, and the woman sitting half a meter away in the car, calmly saying, I will protect myself first. And for you, the viewer, one more question. Very simple, but very hard to swallow. One day, if you are the one lying in a hospital bed with tubes in your arms, who do you want next to you? Someone who can drop an event, cancel a vacation, forget their image to sit by your side, or someone who knows exactly how to say, family comes first, always into a microphone, and then books a more fun trip with the kids behind your back. Leave your answer in the comments.